G'day guys, Big Al here with the new 2024 P-Series irons. And I'm not excited at all, to be honest. I mean, I decided to record myself slowly walking to go and collect them when I heard they'd been delivered. Just don't care. Of course I care. This is the new 2024 P-Series iron by TaylorMade. P-Series. Sorry. A category of iron that I feel that TaylorMade were good already, but have come on leaps and bounds. This is the area that I feel they've been the, let's say, most improved. It's been top tier stuff, it really has. And this story, well, it's supposed to get even better. So today we're specifically talking all things new P770. If you want to see the new P7CB that's coming up next, and you need to hit the subscribe button. Well, you don't, there's no pressure, you don't have to hit the subscribe button. But if you don't, a comet-sized Pix golf ball will hit the earth with crazy ball speeds, destroying everything in its path, of course, except Keith Richards. And, oh yeah, your regret for not hitting the subscribe button earlier and saving the world. Up to you, really up to you. I don't mind, either way. So before we talk about the good points and the bad points, I thought it'd be better we play a few holes with it and experience it, well, with how they're meant to be played and enjoyed. We're starting with the 4-iron. Cold turkey. Man, that is one attractive looking iron down at the ball. Yeah, at address I'm getting serious Megan Fox Transformer vibes. Pretty outrageous really. But the best part about it is, stood over the ball, I'm not shaking like a dog. There's a lot more mass here. I feel comfortable. Blade links still nice and long. Come with me. Feel. That was one of the nicest feeling shots. I'd go as far as saying ever. That happened to be my first 4-iron shot, which has every right to be a wee bit vibraty. I think I did middle it, which is always a pleasure. But how rewarding. It's like Forrest Gump's bench as well. So the now previous P770 was near perfect. The question is, on tour it was so unbelievably popular. So where do you go from there? Well, this is the bit I like more than anything with these irons. You don't change what's almost perfect. Bit of plastic surgery and I'd be a 10 out of 10. More like a head transplant. That's not very nice. Now, the thing I like so much about these irons are the story from the 4-iron all the way to the pitching wedge. Again, the huge story, these should be called C770s, C being consistency. Innovative, I am innovative. Because what we see down at the ball with a 4-iron is very different to what we see with a pitching wedge. We've got that bit of size at the 4-iron, like I say, I didn't feel scared at all. I think those were my words, shaking like a dog. Same thing. To a pitching wedge that, I mean, it's just beautiful. Again, limited offset, lovely round shape, thin at the top. It doesn't feel like it's going to go fiery, which is quite a good thing because I've got like a 50% pitching wedge to play here. But again, it's that story of progressive CG, consistency with milled grooves, milled face. It's really trying to, well, they are doing, attributing performance to a particular number of iron. It's not like, here's your P770, here's your distance package, unlucky the pitching wedge is now going to go 210 yards. It's like, we've got the distance tech where it needs to be, but then we've also got the precision side where that needs to be, you know? That stopped very fast considering I'd pulled that. To give you a bit of an idea, I pulled 50% pitch. We haven't got the club head speed to really generate that RPM. I pulled it and we've still got zippage on very firm Lisbon green. So if that was a concern before you purchase this, consider that question answered. It does stop, and that's really impressive. That's really impressive. But this is where I've come to really appreciate the P-Series, because no longer is it really all about smashing it miles. We need consistency all the way through the bag. So miles with a long iron is great, but if we've got the same sort of build CG in the short stuff, we don't want chips to go hot, you know. So even around the greens we've got that consistency aspect as well. That's me, not the irons, just so you know. Targeting the better player, I'm a better player. For example, tour players, they still want the distance. Everyone thinks they don't, but if they can get the distance but still precision in the short stuff, they'll pick something like this. So this is what it's ticking. Having that progressive CG, being able to play shots like this with finesse of a pitching wedge of the P770. And then you've got the best of both worlds. But that for me feels very blade-like off of the face, which is, well, it's kind of what you want, isn't it? No? So from that one shot, I'm absolutely loving the feel of these. Improved for me, a more solid feel, which is exactly what TaylorMade have gone for with this new iron. And what they've tried to do is chase that Players Forge construction feel by tuning this model and construction to get a similar sort of feel, and that's exactly what I've got. I've tried longer, I've hit shorter, and this is by far the best P770 to date, which is exactly what they've said. So lofts, hate this part. 7 iron this year, 12 degrees. Did you believe me? Nah. Probably won't be a surprise to a few of you. No, it's not. It's there's been no jacking off. Why does this happen to me? Like, I could have worded that so many different ways, but that's the way I worded it. Great. Love this. Love this. I love my job. There's been no jacking of lofts in the new P770 iron. It's exactly the same as the previous model. The 7 iron sits at 33 degrees, just like that of the P7CB, which we'll get to in another video, but that allows for that lovely little blend option if you're that way inclined. Jacking of. Dear. So price anyway. Price £179 per iron, which is more expensive, I'm pretty sure, than the previous generation was, which is not really a surprise. And it's not cheap, which again is not a surprise. This is the best of the best in terms of R&D, technology and performance. These are not just going to turn out to be £1.50 per golf club, do you know what I mean? Am I defending it? No, it is expensive. I can't get it out of my head, I'm sorry. Yeah, expensive. Okay, so the lovely 17th hole at Lisbon, beast of a hole. Obviously we've only got irons to play this, but that's not a bad thing when I feel like I've got the speed I need with a 4 iron. But there's a big thing with this set, again, progressive, that's going to help me massively, and many golfers actually, and that's the bottom groove shot. As you can see here, I've got the 4 iron and I've got the pitching wedge. One thing you'll notice straight away is the speed pocket in the 4 iron and not the short stuff, which is a wonderful piece of technology, hence why it's still there. Protection on the shots that, you know, require us to get the ball out there. We don't need as much zip, and then remove for the control clubs where we require less bounce and fire that direction, more roll up the face for spin. So I feel more confident knowing that big piece of tech's there for this 4 iron shot. Started straight, but definitely moving left to right. That's absolutely fine. That's got miles for a fade. Miles. Okay, great hole this. I want a bit of a performance test on distance here because I've got 212 yards uphill, which, I mean, usually I'd hit 5 iron. I'm hoping I could probably get 6 iron there with this sort of technology. No pressure on the new P770, but uphill it's probably playing 220. That is such a high flight. Is that the club? I think it's a wee bit short, but it's gone the majority of the distance. That's mental. This is why you'd pick a club like this, because look, you're a better player, you want that control, you want the spin where it matters. But even tour players want to hit the 4 irons, 5 irons, 6 irons longer if they can, as long as they've got control. And I feel like this is where this comes in. We no longer need to have that balance of, do we go pure blade and spin but get no distance, or do we go for the distance model and have no control but loads of distance? And this is like that middle park. It's much bigger than a blade, it's much bigger than a cavity back, but it's protected visually with a thin top line and compact visuals. But again, somehow it still feels quite a feisty package. I don't know how they do it really. It's got to be the most difficult sort of set to balance out, because if you go too far in each direction, the set becomes pointless. Well, there you have it. That was a very long 6 iron. But may I add, with an indentation of spin still. So even though we've got that speed pocket tech, which finishes in the 7 iron, doesn't mean the 7 iron and the 6 iron are still going to be extremely hot with no control. We've still got the spin, and that's largely down to that CG location, progressive from the longer to the shorter. Now, as good as these are, they don't stop you from chunking. Did you see that spin immediately? That was so crazy. Let me have another go. That was amazing. That's like wedge spin. So I can go a bit more aggressive at this. Quite forgiving. That was very toey, but it's still gone its distance with the looks of that, and down the centre with a bit of spin correction. So we've spoken about all things good with the 2024 P770. What could possibly be bad about them? Well, you can see it here. It's right there. You can see my, not problem, thing I'm not as much of a fan of as I was before. I'm saying visuals. If we look back at the previous P770, it was perfect. It was stunning. Now, this is purely personal preference, but I think the P770, it's a younger brother. It hasn't adopted the older brother looks as such. Still attractive, but not as pretty. But from watching the older brother, it's learned from its mistakes and got better. That's exactly how I'd put the new P770. It's not ugly. I'm not saying it's ugly. Don't put that on me. I'm not saying it's ugly. Look at it. It's not ugly. That's far from ugly, is it? Actually, is it better looking? I don't know. Comment down below. Poll. We'll do a poll. Poll it. Now, reviewers can sit on the fence a lot with this sort of stuff. I'm willing to put my neck on the line and say this is going to pick up all the medals in the magazine ceremonies. All the gold medals, best irons of this year, all that. Don't be surprised if you see this thing there. That's all I'm saying. Okay, now to one of the most beautiful par 3s that you're ever going to see at Lisbon, the 18th. 222 yards with our ShotScope Pro ZR. I put slope on it, says 210. So that should be 6 iron, really. You know, it should be 6 iron. Keep coming. Keep coming. Oh, mate, that's pin high. No way. That is madness. That's 210 on the fly, pin high. I can't wait to get these in the net. Comment down below if you'd like to see the numbers of the 7-iron. I'll probably go through all the whole set, especially the crossover between the speed slots at the bottom and the ones that don't have it, obviously in the shorter stuff. And we can also test the CG changes from the longer stuff to the shorter stuff to see exactly if there's a drop off, or is it actually, as TaylorMade says, progressive. It's just a wee bit short. It's like it's at least 10 centimetres short, but it gives us a chance to have a wee chip to hole out for birdie. Missed the putt coming back for bogey. I'm not joking. That's one thing you'll be surprised with, the feel of that short stuff, even from this little dink. There's no fieriness. Why? Even I feel controlled, which is a Christmas miracle. So guys, I hope you enjoyed our first initial, review of the P770s. I feel like we're going to see these a lot throughout the year, a lot of testing to be done, but I've got to say it's been absolutely outstanding. I'm not surprised. So the big question for current P770 iron owners, obviously they've now been succeeded by these. Are the 2024 P770s better than your current P770 irons? Obviously there's only one answer. I don't know, and neither do you without trying them head to head. I much prefer, in almost every single way except for the one we mentioned, purely preference may I add, I prefer this in every single way over the previous one. Now I think a head-to-head, toe-to-toe is possible. If you want to see that, comment down below. But guys, I love this iron. It's lived up to its expectation. As I said, I was very excited to go and test these, and I've not been left disappointed at all. So guys, thank you as always for watching. Thank you to our channel members here. You can join as well if you want to be pictured to the side of me. Love you lot. Thank you for the support. And of course, if you want to subscribe, if you want the world to survive, but also you want to see the P7CB irons, you're going to want to see them, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I'll see you next time. Bye.